Hey everyone, welcome to Veterans Perspectives, and today's topic will be 5 mental health hacks I learned from the military. Let's get started. First off, today's sponsor, I guess, it's me, us, Carrie and I and the kids, the whole family. I will leave my link tree in the description, and that link tree will have all that you need to check out our Etsy store, the blogs. Please make sure you subscribe. I am also including the blog on WordPress. I spend a lot of time putting the blog 3 different places, so pick one and subscribe. You will not get spam email. You can join our email list. If you join our email list, you will get a coupon code for 25% off your first Etsy order, which is pretty cool. We do also now have free shipping for the entire store. It doesn't matter what you order or how much it costs, you get free shipping for the whole store. So, wanted to let everyone know that. I do have this weekend there will be a 20% off sale for the whole store. So I wanted to let you guys know that as well. So if you listen to the podcast, you will know. So I will include the Linktree link in the description. It has everything that we do. If you're interested in any of the affiliate products that I sponsor, as well, because I do e-commerce stuff as well. It'll all be in there also. Okay, so I would appreciate if you guys take a look at that. If you're interested in something, purchase. If not, subscribe, follow, share with all your friends, because you never know who might be interested. And I thank you for that. All right, let's get started. Now, the title of the blog, I think, threw a little monkey wrench into people's brains. 5 mental health hacks I learned from the military. I kind of reflected when I was writing, and I did learn some mental health stuff when I was in the military, some coping skills, some positive coping skills. I know some of my veterans out there are probably thinking, yeah, we definitely learned some coping skills, a bottle of Jack Daniels. But no, that's not what I'm necessarily talking about. Okay. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Jeff. I'm a disabled veteran, former educator, a dad, a husband. We live out here in Arizona. I was in the Army for 8 years. Spent time in Iraq, 2003, 2004, OIF1. Spent over a decade teaching in the education system, online and in person, as a teacher and an instructional coach. And all of that has kind of shaped how I see mental health, right? Toxic leadership education triggered my PTSD in ways that I didn't know that I had. I know I had triggers, but it triggered it in ways that I didn't know existed, which I'm still coping with. It's been about a year now, which is crazy to think about, that I stepped away from education. Right now, I'm still very active in speaking out in improving education. For those of you that know, for those of you that read the blog, listen to this podcast, I will never stop being an educator. That is where I'm at now. I'll never stop being an educator. I will not go back to the classroom. That's where I'm at. But that doesn't mean I can't educate. And that's why we have this podcast. So now, along with my wife, Carrie, we run our Etsy store, our small little Etsy shop, JK Prints and Gifts. We spread awareness for PTSD, positive mental health. As a dad, I am very much aware how unprepared my kids are to handle life stresses. Schools are not equipped to teach kids how to handle those things. There might be the one-off teacher that does this very well, but districts are not equipped. They don't want to be equipped. They want nothing but order, structure. Schools are run like prisons, and I will defend that until it changes. Schools prioritize test scores over emotional and mental well-being, and that simply has to change. Okay. I want my kids, I want everyone's kids to grow up with the education they need to have a baseline to start their lives, to whether they go into college, trade school, which I highly recommend, or they enter the workforce, or they enter the military. I want them to have a baseline education to succeed, of course, but I also want them to have the mental capacity to succeed. Because without that, whatever education you have does not matter. Literally does not matter. Okay? So I want all of our kids, especially mine, I'll be selfish, right? to be equipped with mental health skills from the start. Okay? Skills that help us survive and thrive is the way I put it in the blog. Okay? So here's 5 of some powerful mental health hacks. I use that because it's a buzzword. It looks good on Google when people search for things, right? Right? That I learned in the military. Keep me grounded most days, right? These are not just for veterans, okay? They are tools that schools, parents, communities should teach their kids. So not just for my subgroup of veterans, right? Who I love, right? And yes, it's definitely for you guys too. But we're included in the wider group this time. Okay. So let's jump in. First, again, and I'm going to reiterate this a few times. Okay. Mental health gets shortchanged. It's still happening, right? We have our, it's mental health month. Oh, it's mental health day. Oh, it's men's mental health month. Oh, it's women's mental health month. It's Pride month, which some of that focuses on the LGBTQ plus mental health, right? And that's all great and well and good to bring awareness to it. But as soon as those months are over, it goes away from the spotlight, right? That's called shortchanging, right? And a lot of those get used by corporate America to sell you shit, right? Especially Pride. And for my people that are part of that community, my friends that are part of that community, you all know that shit happens, right? As soon as Pride Month hits, as soon as June hits, there's a lot of rainbow shit in my email, right, from companies. Logos change, right? And that's all fine and well and good. It's a sales tactic, right? And again, that's all fine and well and good, but it's not bringing awareness, right? But in schools themselves, right, and districts, state level, because the federal level's crumbling, which is great, right? Again, they only care about test scores and benchmarks, right? Very little time or resources are devoted to teaching kids how to cope with anxiety, stress, or trauma, right? Schools are short-staffed, right? There might be one school counselor in a school that is a K through 8. Here in Arizona, we have K-8 schools in Phoenix, right? The 4th, 5th largest city in America. And we have K through 8 schools with one counselor. One. 1,000 plus students, one counselor. And then we pretend that we're prioritizing mental health. You cannot put mental health on your teachers. Teachers are paid to educate based off of education standards. Stop adding that to the plate of the teacher. Stop fucking doing it. Stop doing it. That is not their job. Now, should they be equipped with tools and strategies to work with students who might need some extra help. They're having a bad day, or if they're having a really good day, right? Because it goes both ways. Yes, definitely yes. Or, and hear me out here, states, this is on you. A large portion of your education budget should be towards guidance counseling and mental health counseling for young people. Just a thought. 2023 study from the National Institute of Mental Health tells us that 1 in 5 children face mental health challenges. 1 in 5. Yet the curricula rarely include lessons on emotional regulation or resilience. Now, again, I do not believe it should be put on teachers, but that's where districts are going to go. So let's find a way to incorporate it somehow, some way. Okay. We were given a program at my previous institution. Again, I will not use names. Okay, those of you that know. Right? But I will not use names. When I tried to implement these things in certain areas, when I was told to implement these things in certain areas, we went to PDs for the groups that I'm sure the district paid a lot of money for. I was met with heavy resistance. Shut down. I'm not doing that. I don't have time for that. Even built into the schedule. I don't have time for that. I got to pass back this. I got to do this. I got to do that. That's why that shit can't be put on teachers, A, but B, there's no buy-in. There's no buy-in. Veterans face similar struggles. Okay? 2023 VA study, 20% report PTSD symptoms, yet stigma and lack of support make it hard to get help. The broken system is frustrating. Okay? The broken system in society, the broken system in schools. Our schools should be places to teach kids what to know and how to get there, right? Critical thinking skills, not just regurgitation of information. That's not education. It's not. Even though we tell kids to be individuals and then we standardize their tests. But that's neither here nor there. Maybe that'll be my next blog. So we need to teach our kids how to handle life when it gets hard, because life gets hard, right? Now, can schools and teachers and principals and guidance counselors create every scenario to prepare kids for in the real world? No, that's an unrealistic expectation. But they can and should be teaching skills that build resilience, mental toughness, self-awareness from a young age. Okay? The military taught me how to stay strong under pressure, right? It taught every single one of my battle buddies how to stay strong under pressure, right? We face some shit. Okay? How to keep going when everything inside feels like, okay, shit's falling apart here, right? But we got to keep going forward. How do we fix this, right? So 5 mental health hacks. Build a routine for stability. And one of the most grounding things I learned in the military is the power of routine. It's the thing I missed the most when I first got out. And I got out of the reserves, and I still miss that routine. I still miss that routine, which is crazy. When every day feels unpredictable, a schedule can become your anchor, right? Now, are things gonna mess with that schedule? Always, right? Always, right? But having a schedule, having a routine helps, okay? even though I'm not in the classroom, I'm not working in a traditional sense, I still keep a schedule at home. I wake up at a certain time. I come out to my desk at a certain time. I eat lunch around the same time frame, right? Builds habits, right? I need to start doing my morning walks again. You know, I don't like going outside because it's hot as fucking balls. Okay. Journaling. My blog and my newsletter is my journaling, so I kind of make that public for you guys. You're welcome. Okay. Canva, I'm on Canva all the time. Mood trackers, reflection journals. It keeps me aware of my own mental state. If schools taught kids to create their own routines, and self-check systems early on, I'm talking first grade, second grade, right? They would be powerful tools to manage stress and anxiety. It's a skill I wish had been available when I was teaching, even online, because this is tailor-made for online. Okay. I mean, heck, when I taught online, students would fall behind, and what did I do? Okay, let's make a schedule, make a routine. I'd ask the student, what does your day look like? What's a regular day? Do you work? Because I had a lot of students at work because I taught seniors. Okay. In the blog, by the way, I'm going to have links to several things. Okay. Some of those links are affiliate links. I want to be clear with you guys. Okay. That I will get a small commission for at no extra cost for you. I do have resources. I would keep those resources in the blog. There are apps and there are books. Okay. Number 2, practice tactical breathing. Breathing exercises are a lifesaver for me personally, and for a lot of veterans I know. We love our breathing exercises because they work. Okay, they're comfort zone. Combat training, I remember practicing tactical breathing. Right, calms the heart rate. Right, lets you think. Simple but incredibly effective. Right, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold again for 4. Calms your nervous system, regulates panic. This is all science. Right, it's not just Jeff making shit up. And brings you back to the present moment. I tell people all the time, and I tell, especially when I was coaching athletes, right? And I tell my daughter all the time, my athlete, you got to be in the moment, right? You can't walk on to whatever court, whatever boardroom, whatever meeting, whatever oil rig, whatever truck, whatever trash truck, whatever job you might have, whatever field of play you might be going on, and not be in the moment. You have to be present. You have to be there now, right? If you're somewhere else in your mind, you are not performing at peak proficiency. Yeah, that was a bar, huh? And I tell my daughter this all the time. Hey, look, I know the school. She's 15, so she's fucking boy crazy, right? It's game day. All right? It's time to be in the moment. You got to be here now. And breathing exercises help to do that, right? Tactical breathing. If I'm having an anxiety episode, PTSD episode, breathing tactics are the first thing I turn to help. It's not a cure-all, okay? I'm not going to tell you that breathing exercises is going to solve your life's problems, but it's the first thing I turn to, right? Like, I mean, heck, I tell my kids, when I have a stressful day, you got tests coming up, whatever, breathe. It's a tool they can carry with them their whole lives. School should integrate short breathing exercises into the day. There are individual teachers that do this. I've seen this happen, right? 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, before a test, during an assembly. Teaching students how to manage pressure, teaching students how to return to the moment. One of the biggest complaints I get from teachers is, oh, my kids don't focus. Give them a way to focus. Bring them to you. Bring them to the moment. Here you go. You as an individual, hey, I have a hard time focusing. Bring yourself to the moment. You feel yourself halfway through the day, your mind is wandering while you're working. Bring yourself back to the moment. This is a good way to do that. Debrief to process emotions. Now, this is hard for some people, including me. Okay, you don't have to debrief to other people, although I would say if you have a trusted person, it works a little bit better, right? If you're debriefing out loud to someone who can then give you real feedback on those emotions, it tends to work a little bit better. Okay. After every mission in the Army, we had a debrief, right? It's not just a report, although that's part of it, right? It's a chance to process what happened most of the time. What went well, what could have been better, right? It's essential for mental clarity and emotional health, in theory. I apply that principle to this debrief process, okay? Carrie and I used to journal regularly. At least verbal journaling is what I used to call it. Talking through what we're feeling, what's weighing on us. We still talk all the time, obviously. We're not a silent couple. Shocking, I know. Carrie and I are not a silent couple. But having that person, writing out your thoughts is a good way to debrief if you're not comfortable talking them out. Shit, go on a hike in the middle of the night and shout them into the void, right? Just make sure you're in a safe place and drink water, right? Because water solves everything. My veterans will get that joke. So what I'm saying is this is a way for you to unpack your own emotions, and that can be hard. That can be hard. I'm not saying this is easy. Okay. Reflection prompts, right? Schools need to encourage journaling, small group discussions where kids could express what they are feeling. Student expression of their feelings is a huge problem. Kids have big feelings because they're going through big changes, right? And that's K through 12. Just the changes are different, right? Depending on how old they are, depending on what level of development they're in, right? Depending on where their frontal cortex is at, depending on what their gender is, right? But they're not given the tools on how to talk about these things. This is called emotional literacy. I'm sure I had a couple teachers screaming at the podcast, emotional literacy. A couple of my counselor friends, right? It's missing in many classrooms. Emotional literacy. Focus on physical wellness. Now, I am not someone who should be giving people physical wellness advice. I am fat and ugly because self-deprecating humor. Okay. Mostly I'm a bigger dude because of the physical injuries that I have, and it's hard for me to work out. Period. I can't lift like I used to. I can't run like I used to. But that doesn't mean I can't do anything, and I need to be better at doing things. The military drills into you that your body and mind are connected. Physical fitness is not just about strength, right? It's about clarity, and resilience, overcoming. Okay. Even on days when my PTSD sucks, right, which is a lot of my days, I commit sometimes to walking and stretching. Stretching especially. Stretching is my go-to. Movement helps release tension. It boosts mood. It improves sleep for some people. Not me, but some people. I encourage my kids to stay active too. I got pretty active kids. Like I talk about my oldest daughter all the time. My other two kids are very active. My youngest daughter is a cheerleader. My son is outside all the time, right? Like even in the heat, they go to the park right across from us, and they're just running around playing football, tag, all kinds of shit. And here's where the rub is with society and schools, right? And I kind of turn this into an education thing, and I'm fine with this. We took away PE time for kids, K through 8, right? They get it once or twice a week, maybe. And again, it's more than just PE. They could integrate movement more in the classroom itself, right? And I know some teachers do this, right? But PE should be a core class, and it should be a priority. And it should be a daily priority for all students. In my opinion, K through 12, but at a minimum, K through 8. Because we know that physical fitness and physical well-being and physical activity is good for the body, and it's good for the mind. Physical movement leads to mental wellness. There you go. Number 5, the last one. Find purpose through service. Honestly, I joined the Army. I was 17. I was still in high school, right? I was one of those weirdos that at the time it was called split option. I went to basic training the summer between my junior and senior years of high school at Sand Hill, Fort Benning, Georgia, 1999, where they make boys into men. And then I came home and had to finish high school. Could you imagine, for my veterans out there, going to Fort Benning, Georgia, going to basic training at Fort Benning, Georgia, and then having to come back and deal with high school people? My whole life changed. But that service gave my life meaning, right? I didn't have the best time growing up, right? Those of you that know, and maybe I'll share that one day on this podcast. And I kind of dropped little nuggets of my life here and there, but I didn't have the best go, right? Growing up, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna join the Army. And maybe it was a little bit of active rebellion, right? Some service focused active rebellion. But then I found out real quick that I liked that shit, right? I showed up at basic training. I was getting yelled at, right? Everyone around me is older than me. They're men, right? Sure, there were some 18-year-olds, right? People that look like me. But then I turned to my left and there's a 27-year-old, right? Men. And I was like, oh, all right. And I learned real quick that, yeah, I might have had a tough go, but there's other people in the world, right? It's not about me. It's about we. And it created that idea. And I had been part of teams my whole life playing sports, right? But it took until that moment at basic training. And I still remember, I'm 43 years old now. And I still remember my drill sergeants' names, all 3 of them. And I won't say them here, okay? But I still remember them because of the installation, the impact that they had on me as a young man, a boy, that they molded into a man. And that's finding purpose through service. Finding something that allows you to serve something else. It could be volunteer work. It could be something as simple as helping your neighbors. It could be creating an Etsy store that focuses on positive mental health and PTSD awareness. It could be starting a blog or a podcast that serves a section of the community that you believe is underserved, right? To teach people something that you think that they need to know. Service connection. Schools need to do this. Now, there's always that one-off, right? Oh, we're going to the food bank and we're going to do this. And that's great. That's great. It really is. And a lot of high schools have community service hour requirements, blah, 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 right? That needs to be the norm, literally, from kindergarten on. From kindergarten on, service connection needs to be part of the gig. It needs to be part of the part of the education curriculum. And this is why we need more counselors, because they're the ones that make those connections, them and principals, right? And this is also principals. This is on you and parents. This is where community building comes into play, right? Where's the community need the most help? Where can we incorporate kids into this and schools into this? Okay, so teaching kids forms of giving back, that it's about we, not me, starting from a young age is crazy powerful. Like, crazy powerful. Because it instills a sense of accomplishment, certainly, right, like at an individual level, but it also instills that sense of community, right? It instills that, oh, wow, I helped that person. Right? I mean, heck, when I have a friend, when I post my blog or I make a political post because I'm pretty politically active, I'm very politically active. I have a master's degree in political science. You think I know a thing or two about politics? Yeah, I do. Right? But I'll make my opinions known. And I like to respectfully and even sometimes disrespectfully argue on social media about politics. And I have friends on the complete opposite side of the spectrum who completely disagree with me politically, and I disagree with them. And we hash it out on social media. This is what I believe. Okay, that's cool. This is what I believe. This is why I believe it. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, okay, this is how we could reach a middle ground. Did you guys know that I see that as a service? We live in a society today where that's not normal. Where now people think it's acceptable for me and that person that we shouldn't be friends. Look, you do you. If you want to pick your friends based off of their political affiliations, that's on you. That ain't on me. I have friends that are very opposite of me, who are some of my best good friends that I would take a bullet for, that I've actually gone to war with. So, yeah, I guess that ain't me. That's a service. Modeling that, demonstrating that, and now talking about it in a public forum, that letting people know this is what I believe, this is why I believe it. That's service. Service. Because it's not the norm anymore. It's not. We live in a consumption society and not a society that gives back. And I'm not talking give back with your money. That's good. But I'm talking about giving back with your mind and your voice. Bars. Mental health support is a societal focus, or should be a societal focus. It is not just a personal struggle. Yes, people struggle with it. A lot of people do. Okay, but it is a societal responsibility. Okay, we are gone from the times of keep your head down and keep working. Tighten up your bootstraps and get to work. Especially for men, we are done with that. That era is gone because I won't let it come back. Okay? When we care about each other, when communities come together to support mental wellness, we can literally create a world that is more compassionate, resilient, and hopeful. And I know some of you are in the comments thinking, but Trump, I swear to God, if any of you say, but Trump, I'm going to lose my mind. Trump is not the end all be all of ruining society. Stop it. Stop it. The Republic stood before Trump, it'll stand after him. I promise. Mental health support should be woven into everyday parts of society, schools, workplaces, neighborhoods, and families. The stigma around mental health breaks down when we share our stories, listen without judgment, and offer our help freely. If we commit to this kind of care for each other, we can make this place a little bit better. Okay, for veterans like me, teachers like Carrie, she's actually now a librarian. Chad, I'm married to a sexy librarian. Our kids are growing up in uncertain times. Letting them know that mental health matters is the first step towards healing and growth. It's important. It's important. We all have a role to play. This is a culture shift. We have to shift this culture. It cannot be a niche culture. It just needs to be the culture. No one has to suffer alone. No one should suffer alone. Suffer together. Jeez. No, we should all have someone to uplift us. 5 mental health hacks. Why it matters. Routine, breathing, debriefing, physical wellness, and service are more than just strategies. They're lifelines. They help me personally manage my PTSD. Not solve it, not cure it, but their management activities, apparatus, to be present for my family, okay, and keep myself moving forward in some positive way. I definitely saw too many schools fail their students by ignoring mental health education, okay? I know what it's like to be trapped in a toxic system, right, that breaks people down instead of builds them up, and that experience nearly broke me, okay? It did break me, and now I'm rebuilding myself, okay? But the lessons I learned in the military gave me a foundation to rebuild, okay? Gave me tools to fight back against that darkness. Okay? My hope is that schools, parents, and communities will recognize how vital these skills are and start teaching them early. Early resilience skills. Our kids deserve to grow up resilient, self-aware, and ready for whatever life is going to throw their way. Now it's your turn. I want you guys to join the conversation. If you're a veteran, parent, teacher, someone navigating mental health challenges, share in the comments what strategies have helped you stay grounded. Okay? Please share your experience in the comments if you're comfortable. Okay? Your story might be the encouragement that someone else needs. This is an act of service. Okay? Make sure you guys subscribe to Veterans Perspective podcast and blogs. Okay? If you want to support our mission, again, check out our PTSD awareness products and our mental health awareness products at JK Prints and Gifts. Every purchase helps us spread hope and awareness. We're in this together, right? Mental health ain't going nowhere. Okay, it's just not. So we might as well uplift each other, not break each other down. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. It's free. And share with everyone you know. I appreciate you guys. Have a great day.